Hello people of tomorrow, happy World No Tobacco Day. So today we are going to discuss a little bit about FCTC or the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. Now this is a very interesting topic because Indonesia stands as the only Asian country whose signature is not yet signed on the framework. So today we are collaborating with AMSA International to discuss with several countries on what it's like to live in a country who has ratified FCTC. Does FCTC really help with tobacco regulation? Well, aren't you curious? Find out on the video.
Hello, my name is Nisa Dara Dinanti. My friend and colleague usually call me Dara, and I'm serving as the ambassador of public health for AMSA Indonesia for District 1 for 2019 to 2020.
Hello, people of tomorrow. Happy World No Tobacco Day. My name is Vana Bella Sabatina as the Ambassador of Public Health for District 2, AMSA Indonesia 2019-2020.
Hello, people of tomorrow. Happy World No Tobacco Day. My name is Ataya as the Ambassador of Public Health District 3, AMSA Indonesia 2019-2020.
Hello people of tomorrow, happy World No Tobacco Day. My name is Wilma as the Ambassador of Public Health for District 4, AMSA Indonesia 2019-2020.
Hello people of tomorrow, happy World No Tobacco Day. My name is Caca as the Ambassador of Public Health for District 5, AMSA Indonesia 2019-2020.
Hello people of tomorrow, happy World No Tobacco Day. So, my name is Meita as the Ambassador of Public Health, District 6, AMSA Indonesia 2019-2020.
I am Priyansh Nathani. I am currently serving as the Regional Chairperson of AMSA India, and I am 21 years old studying medicine in HBD Medical College and Dr. R.N. Cooper Hospital.
Hi everyone, so I'm Camille Aldeguer. I'm from the Philippines. My university is University of the East Ramon Magsaysay Memorial Medical Center, UERM. So it's nice to be here.
Hi, my name is Sabin. I'm a fourth year medical student from Imperial College London. And I have been active in AMSA United Kingdom since my first year.
Hi everyone, hope everyone is keeping well during this COVID-19 pandemic. Hope everyone is safe and yeah. So a bit more about myself. My name is Ernest. I'm a third year medical student and I'm part of AMSA Singapore, and I'm very happy and honored to be given the opportunity to come and share with you guys.
Hi there, this is Gyudai Kaneda from AMSA Japan. I'm third year medical student at Hokkaido University. Hokkaido is the northernmost part of Japan, and we have a lot of snow every year. But it's really a good place. Like, you can enjoy every season, and I think my university has the best scenic campus in Japan.
Hey, I'm Yang. Now I'm studying at the University of Medicine and Pharmacy. I am majoring on preventive medicine doctor. I'm from Hue, which is the center of Vietnam.
My name is Shi Yawen. I'm from AMSA China, and you can call me Wendy. And I'm studying in Xianyang School of Medicine, Central South University, and my major is psychiatry.
What is your opinion regarding the problems in your country related to tobacco?
So in India, specifically, it's if I talk about the World Bank report, it said that 3.5 million of people are involved in tobacco farming. So, and also like BDs, which is like a BD is the most prevalent tobacco product used in India. It's basically it's a leaf in which the tobacco is enrolled and is tied with a thread.
Actually, around 87,000 Filipinos die from tobacco-related diseases annually. And another thing I'd like to point out actually is tobacco taxation. So it's also known as the Tobacco Tax Reform Law because we place tax on tobacco or cigarette boxes. There's actually been a significant drop in current smokers from about 70 million to 15 million. So that's 20% of the population drop of smokers. While this is actually a good thing, environmentally and physically, this is a defeat, I feel, for the tobacco farmers. The Philippines is a very agricultural country, and because of the increased tax in tobacco, the market also for tobacco lessened, which resulted to the decrease in the need to produce tobacco, hence lower profit for our farmers. So I think that's a problem specifically for the Philippines related to tobacco.
The regulations and public sentiment on smoking is a lot lax here. It's a lot relaxed wherever they want. We do have designated smoking areas in London, but nobody really sticks to them. Like, you can pretty much smoke anywhere. You can smoke while you're walking down the street. As long as it's not indoors, you can smoke. Smoking in that kind of environment is almost viewed as an individual's autonomy. It's like you have the choice to do it. It is because it is your health that you're wrecking, basically.
Yeah, so smoking is a problem, I think, worldwide, and it's a problem in Singapore. However, since the start of the FCTC, it has been getting progressively better. Yeah. So the rate was about 18.3% in 1992, and it's about 13% in 2018.
More than 150,000 Japanese people die from tobacco-related cause every year.
So, in my opinion, smoking happens everywhere every year. You know that especially the age from the over 30 to 60. You know, in Vietnam, there is an official law about the tobacco problems. So, you know, because tobacco is one of the most I see is the tax for the government. So, you know, really difficult to stop producing all the I think cannot stop producing tobacco in Vietnam. Really difficult.
So, historically, Chinese had a tradition of smoking tobacco, in particular male residents. According to WHO statistics, China has about 0.3 billion tobacco smokers, which is a large base number. Until now, the tobacco control policies in China have made achievement since 2003, when China started to implement wide-range tobacco control, and in 2011, China started overall tobacco control. Over the past years, people's awareness of tobacco control has improved much in recognizing the harm of secondhand smoke, but not enough in tobacco smoke. The publicity coverage of tobacco control has increased as the Chinese government has enforced laws and regulations to regulate tobacco advertising. But there are still some tobacco companies shift to take disguised sales promotion behaviors. In 2019, according to the Empower policy of WHO, China till now has met no high standards of those policies. Therefore, I think we have a long way to go in China to control tobacco.
Does your country have any sales restrictions regarding tobacco?
It's just pretty much the stuff that any other country would have. So, ban on tobacco sponsorships, advertisements, and also the warning signs on the tobacco package. That's quite large and rather graphic. But other than that, we don't really have limitations on smoking itself.
It has been implemented to a very good extent in India. The government has put many restrictions. Government has put many warning signals as well across the nation, where to use not to smoke in public, or having every other advertisement showing smoking with a warning sign, or having warning signs printed on every product which is being made.
So an example of these are banned advertising of tobacco in newspapers and social media, packaging and labeling, showing pictures of the effects of tobacco smoking. I think starting 2007, they only allowed advertising from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. of cigarettes on TV, but as the years went by, they completely abolished it. So there's no advertisements on TV or billboards of cigarettes in the Philippines.
To my knowledge, I don't think smoking is allowed to be advertised in Singapore. In fact, there are some restrictions on the cigarette packagings. So, for example, in cigarette packages, there are pictures of harmful effects of smoking, say cancer, for example, to discourage people from buying the cigarettes.
Thanks to FCTC, we don't see actors or children or comedian smoking on TV, so the peer pressure is decreasing, I think.
Yeah, cool. So currently there are a couple of smoking regulations in Singapore. For example, there's an age requirement. There's no smoking in certain areas,
and also prevent if anyone is seen smoking in India, they are fined.
So one of the things that I really hated living in London was that people are allowed to smoke around bus stops, and bus stops, you have to stay there for quite a long period of time, like minutes at least, waiting for your bus. And if someone else smokes there, you have to sit there and breathe in the fumes. Another thing is outdoor seating in restaurants. So it is allowed to smoke if you're sitting outside in a restaurant. My understanding is that for my university, Imperial, you're not allowed to smoke within the campus grounds. We had a tobacco-free campus apparently, but that's never been enforced. I still see loads of people smoking everywhere on campus.
Actually around the Philippines, they've been apprehended for smoking near school grounds, and they've been giving warnings to only smoke in designated areas. And I think that, as what I said before, it's the implementation of the designated smoking areas and the prevention of smoking in public places that has been very effective. As I said, the Clean Air Act of 1999 by the President of the Philippines. So, and it's one thing, I feel like it's one thing to start the project. These are a lot of projects that the Philippines is trying to do, and they're all good. But it's important to continue it, to maintain it, to improve it even more. And I think that's what the Philippines needs.
People who have seen smoking in various public places and homes has declined to varying degrees.
The sin tax law is it actually started in 2007. So from there, they placed 4% increase every day on the price of tobacco cigarettes. And from this, they get 15% of the profit from from the increase in price. They give it to the farmers. And health programs to treat tobacco-dependent users.
So to my knowledge, there's a small helpline to call if you are keen to quit smoking. There's also a support system for smokers to quit smoking, and also support system for non-smokers to prevent themselves from getting smoking.
People who have seen smoking in various public places and homes has declined to varying degrees.
This program, called the National Tobacco Free Public Education Program, which, as I said before, the 15% of the revenue from the tax will go to their families, to the tobacco farmers' families and children for free education.
And there's a slight difference between the laws of England and laws of, say, United States. United States designates where you're allowed to do it, and it's legal everywhere else. Whereas here in the UK, they only designate where it is illegal, and everywhere else is sort of granted that you're allowed to do, say, for instance, smoking. For instance, on TV, nobody's allowed to smoke. So we're not the current television is not allowed to show people smoking. Also, smoking around the exits of underground stations is also not allowed. So they within, I think it's 50-meter radius of the exit. So you have to smoke outside that 50-meter radius. On the streets, you can see like booths that's designated for smokers. And just the public sentiment on smoking in public is quite bad, because they understand that it is spreading carcinogen, not just for yourself, but also for the people around you.
How about the price of the cigarette packs itself?
Gutka. It's one of the tobacco products which is so cheap. It basically one gutka costs you around $0.013 US.
I think it's around $4 US. It's a little bit cheap. It's really affordable for everyone, I think.
Wow, this is a tough question because I've never purchased a cigarette pack myself, but I think it's about the range of tens of dollars. For example, $12, $13. I'm not exactly sure about the exact price of cigarettes in Singapore.
And it's around from like 69 cents. It's now around $1.18. So that's a big price difference. And because of that, as what I said, not a lot of people decide to buy cigarettes. They decide to buy, their essentials like clothes and food.
So how come the child use tobacco at a really young age?
We don't need some kind of qualification. Like, we just to prove that we are older than 20 years old, and then you can get passport. And with passport, you can buy tobacco from vending machine.
The minimum age used to be 18 years old. However, it has been increased to 21 years old by 2021.
Oh.
There has been a lot of programs and in place to discourage young kids, teenagers from smoking. Yeah, so examples of this include education. For example, in school, teachers will teach the students about the harmful effect of smoking. And as and when there are also online campaigns and also road shows on
ban purchasing of cigarettes by minors. So they don't allow that. People under or kids under 18 are not allowed to purchase tobacco or cigarettes.
So you have to show the ID card before.
Yeah, the license. Yeah, you have to show that license or like a passport, anything that proves that you're
not underage.
Yeah, not underage. Because if you are, they don't sell to you.
So, like, obviously, if you look like obviously young, underage, then they won't sell it to you. And some stores are really strict. They'll require the ID from everyone who's shopping. And even if one person doesn't have ID, they'll not sell it to you. But then there are some smaller stores who just won't even ask for ID if you look above 20.
These child are not only involved in the production but also in the usage of BDs over here. BDs, why are they being used? Because one, it's really, really cheap in production. Second, it's being illegally produced. And thirdly, the students over here, because of the let's say peer pressure or I don't know, like the glorification of usage of tobacco products, which has been happening via industries like cinematic industries, even though they are under the norms they mention that smoking is injurious to health, but still the way they portray using tobacco, it's like if you smoke, it's something really fancy or a fad among the youngsters.
When I'm in high school, you see some boys always think they are so cool.
Maybe. When I was a student at high school, my friends, my classmates, smoke every day. Oh, I was so surprised to phrase on it.
Do you have any experience either as an active or passive smoker?
My father used to smoke. He's quit now, but here in the UK, there are some friends who smoke, but what is interesting is that it's almost considered like abnormal for a medical student to smoke in the United Kingdom.
I think my dad was smoking like when I was in high school, so that was like I think around like 10 years ago. I really remember seeing him like when we go out, when it's a birthday party, when it's a party, or when we go to restaurants, he smokes. He smokes a lot actually, and I really remember getting mad at him all the time and telling him that that's really bad for your health, and like, look, I'm inhaling the smoke, my brother's inhaling the smoke, and that's also gonna affect us. And I think although that not just once, I didn't just tell him once, I told him a lot of times. And I think that aside from that, and aside from the fact that he acknowledged that smoking really does affect his health, he was able to actually stop and quit. Although this was hard for him, because I remember he would update me and tell me that, oh, I stopped smoking already, and then like a week after he'd do it again. But then finally the quitting of smoking became consistent, and now he doesn't smoke anymore. So I think that's really good.
To tell the truth, my parents are super heavy smokers. They smoke more than a box of tobacco every day, and I think people like them are the target of Japanese tobacco industry. Anyway, I think I'm a professional positive smoker for like more than 20 years. Every time we went to the restaurant together, we had smoking seats. I remember that when I became 20 years old, the first thing they asked me was to go to the convenience store to get their favorite tobacco. When I did the lung function test last year as a medical student, I found that my lungs was working worse than others. There's no surprise, like I knew it. But I don't think my parents have to stop smoking. They are old enough to decide whether to smoke or not by themselves. And I understand how much stress they have by working every day.
In my university, some people they use smoking to de-stress or as a coping mechanism, and it's easy for them to buy cigarettes because they can easily purchase them from convenience stores and street vendors around the school vicinity. But recently, the student.
Yeah, so I have some friends who are smokers, and sometimes, like for example, when we go out for meals or what, and they will start smoking. Yeah, so as a non-smoker myself, personally, I don't approve of this behavior, and sometimes I would just tell them, hey guys, smoking is bad, and maybe we should consider we should consider do other things instead of smoking. Yeah, and I think the personal but okay, of course I don't say this all the time. If not, I'll be left without friends. Yeah, so I guess the biggest dilemma would be to tell someone you care about to stop smoking, because it is something very hard to do. It's not like telling the person to go take a shower, or it's not like telling the person to drink more water. It's actually asking them to stop a habit which people may have it may have started for a long time, and it's not. And I understand that it's really not easy to quit.
I've seen during my placements loads of people on CPAP. Like they clearly have respiratory failure, and they're gasping for air because they're at end stage restrictive lung disease, and they still come out dragging their CPAP machines out. They're not allowed to smoke within the hospital grounds, so they drag the machine out of the hospital grounds. And then they still smoke, gasping for air.
What is your opinion on tobacco control in your countries?
Technically, it is up to their own choices. But first of all, I think the UK sort of does not understand how serious secondhand smoking is. Like, smoking can spread carcinogen to people around you as well. Yes, and I don't think that's really taken into account when they're planning the tobacco control policies. And considering the cost of healthcare that we're spending because of tobacco, I think there definitely needs to be a stronger restriction on buying and spending or using tobacco?
Approve of all of these laws. They're very good. But my concern here really is maintenance and impact. In terms of effectiveness, some of the statistics are showing improvement, but there's also some that show plateau or decline. Like, for example, in the Philippines, the population who actually quit smoking hasn't increased, so it's been stable. Although it's been stable, but it hasn't increased to greater than 4% since 2015. And in addition to this, there are also, I feel like some of the measures don't really make such a big impact, especially on like middle class individuals. Despite the tax imposed on cigarettes, they consider smoking a necessity, so they're not really dissuaded. They're not easily dissuaded by the infographics or increased prices. So some of them adjust their daily expenses, to fit cigarettes in their budget.
I think Japan is working very hard about this problem. What used to be manners became today's laws or rules, and most of us came to understand the risk of tobacco. So I hope this trend will continue.
It is very comprehensive, so it's like a multi-pronged approach. It targets, for example, the economic side of things, such as the taxation. It targets the education side of things, for example, I mentioned education programs in school, and also it targets helpline side of things, whereby there are social support for people to quit smoking. For example, one of the support is the I Quit 28 Days by Health Hub.
Do you know what is FCTC, or known as Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, and which point in FCTC would you like to highlight?
Okay, so FCTC is the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. When I read about this, it was very interesting because FCTC is actually one of the most widely embraced treaties by WHO, and it's affiliated with over 160 countries. And one of these is the Philippines, who signed the convention in 2003. And because of that, we now have the Republic Act 9211. So WHO stated that in order for FCTC to be successful, drive and commitment is needed. So I think this is what the Philippines is trying to do as well.
Yes, there are six frameworks called Empower, right? The most important thing I think is W, warning. I think it's necessary to convey the danger of tobacco precisely. Sometimes there are smokers who live longer than 100 years old, and the media try to put so much emphasis on this. I understand smokers feeling that they want to believe in the myth that all smokers can lead healthy lives like them. But be mature, it just happened. That rule doesn't apply to everyone. Otherwise, I don't need to make a speech like this, right? First, accept the fact that the thing you have in your hand is poison. The media must try not to give the wrong information.
I'm aware about the FCTC. Yeah, so basically, I think it's a framework convention on tobacco control. Yeah, so my favorite point, I read through about FCTC, and I think my favorite point would be Article 12, which talks about education. Yeah, and I believe that at the end of the day, the most powerful motivation would be intrinsic motivation, and that comes from within ourselves. Yeah. So I believe that education is important to educate people about the harmful effects of smoking, and also the opportunity cost of smoking. For example, what can you do with the money saved? Yeah, perhaps you can buy a plane ticket. And also Nelson Mandela once said that education is the most powerful tool that can be used to change the world.
FCTC, yes, it has been implemented in the country, as I said. So it has been implemented and ratified in the year 2004 in India. I would like to highlight 2 points. One thing is Article 12, which is under the Part 3, which addresses about the education, communication, and training and public awareness, which is really required. Basically, it's not only about what government does, but as you can see, the peer pressure around is so difficult to handle. And even if you ask me about my own experience, it's something which I see among my friends as well too. Like even they kind of smoke. So regardless of me being such an anti-tobacco person, I really want people to stop using tobacco products. But still, I kind of need to tackle with my own friends at some times as well, because of the fact that they smoke, and it's even if you don't want to, it's passive smoking which happens. So yeah, in India,
personally, I hope that the convention could emphasize the 2 points of firstly, increasing tobacco prices and taxes, and secondly, prohibiting the sale of cigarettes to minors. I think that a substantial increase in tobacco prices can reduce people's willingness to buy, thereby fundamentally reducing the smoking rate of the population. And the prohibition on selling cigarettes to minors can protect minors' health and prevent minors from becoming smokers because their lack of understanding of the hazard of cigarettes.
So, has FCTC been implemented in your country?
FCTC has been implemented in the Philippines through the Republic Act 9211. It was implemented last 2003, if I'm not mistaken. So, looking at statistics, actually, since 2007, there has been a 9% decrease in Filipino youth using tobacco, and a 6% decrease for adults. So, which this actually means, these statistics means that the government's efforts to conduct FCTC in the country has been successful. So there, I think that there are 2 benefits to that. Since it's more expensive, some Filipinos think twice about using their money for that. And the second is that 15% go to the Filipino farmers for education of their family and for the alternative crops that they're going to do. So I think that's a really win-win situation.
It has been implemented in the country, as I said. So it had been implemented and ratified in the year 2004. It has been implemented to a very good extent in India. But the question is how good the society responds to it, right? If we are talking about the population of 1.3 billion and surveilling and monitoring so many people at once, it's really difficult. So how good it is, that's still a question, to be honest about it, because if it hadn't been the case, we wouldn't have so many patients dying out of cancer due to tobacco products, and not so many people involved in the production of tobacco products.
Some part of it, definitely, I think. But I don't think they've implemented some of the more effective strategies. And if you check out the UK section of the FCTC website, you can see that a lot of the information, a lot of the data from the United Kingdom is missing. So it just makes me doubt whether the United Kingdom is actually serious about helping people quit and reducing the smoking rate in this country. First of all, the public doesn't really know what FCTC is. It's not been really advertised, and as I've mentioned, there aren't that much regulation that directly affects smoking and purchase of tobacco. So there's not much that the society would respond to.
I think Japan is working very hard about this problem. What used to be manners became today's laws or rules, and most of us came to understand the risk of tobacco. So I hope this trend will continue. I think Japan has changed a lot since FCTC was concluded. The good news is that most of the Japanese people are supporting this change. Tobacco vending machines are disappearing, and you need a qualification card called Passport, which shows you are old enough to buy tobacco. And since this April, smoking has been banned from almost all of the restaurants. However, when compared to other developed countries like United Kingdom, it is still not enough, I think.
So I think FCTC has been implemented in Singapore. Well, regarding how like the society respond to FCTC, I can't speak for the behalf of everyone, but in my personally, I feel that I think FCTC is a good initiative for us to reduce the number of smokers in the country. It is, and I think it is really comprehensive, and I think it is a really good initiative.
The FCTC officially entered into force in China on January 9, 2006, and the society's attitude towards the convention is positive. In particular, the public has a high degree of support for indoor smoking ban in public places and workplaces.
I can feel that the government grumly receive about about FCTC apply onto Vietnam.
Okay, so do you have any message for Indonesia regarding FCTC regulation?
So my message for Indonesia as a India representative would be, let's hope that FCTC signature goes from Indonesia's side, and considering that, and let's hope that the FCTC is implemented in Indonesia. I believe it's not gonna still be effective without the proper public participation. So I think every campaign which is happening right now in Indonesia, everything which is happening right now to spread the awareness in AMSA Indonesia or any other entity or any other organization doing it, it's really important to focus that it's not the only effort of government which is going to make this problem go away. It's only going to happen with the joint efforts of the government and the public at large, who are going to work together and make this problem a thing of a past, I must say.
Okay, so I understand that Indonesia is not party of FCTC, but I also know that your country has implementation on tobacco control policies. So, right, you still have tobacco control policies or anti-tobacco campaigns, and so I think that's a really good thing. I actually recently read about Empower, which is an initiative of WHO and Indonesia to reduce tobacco use. So you're not part of FCTC yet, but you are really doing your part in reducing tobacco use and helping, and WHO is also helping your government to do this, and I think that's really a really good start. Actually, if you think about it, big tobacco users like my country, like the Philippines or like China, India, they did have difficulties in implementing the regulations because of tobacco's huge demand on and economic assets. So as we all know, right? But these countries are now part of FCTC, and I believe Indonesia can also do this.
I'd say it is important to recognize how severe this problem can be, and you can't really change much unless the public opinion changes, and that's the only thing that could affect the politicians to start implementing the smoking cessation policies. So changing public opinion takes time and effort and money. So it is important for people who know the severity of this problem to take initiative and help start changing the situation on tobacco use.
So I hope one day that our friends in Indonesia will will overcome these issues. These issues of smoking together. In fact, this problem is worldwide, and everyone is struggling to fight this problem. But I'm very heartened and I'm very pleased that there's a group of student body who are concerned about this situation. Like, for example, yourself and AMSA Indonesia, that you guys are stepping up, and also I wish you guys all the best, and hopefully that one day we can all overcome this problem together. Yeah.
That's a difficult question. Actually, I don't know what kind of problem Indonesia is facing right now. But one thing I'm sure is that your nasi goreng would taste much better if you quit smoking.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget FCTC for Indonesia.